All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is Twin Flames Unite, and we are at it again. And if you don't know by now, I'm Chris.
And I'm Leisha. What up?
What's going on, everybody? We are here to bring you practical solutions that you can apply easily, naturally, and automatically
in your everyday life so you can tap into your unlimited potential
and rise to the highest version of yourself. Okay? All right. So today we are going to bring you some practical information that you can really apply towards your spiritual path. Okay? Because one of the things me and my baby were talking about earlier today is that a lot of people, there's still some people out there who don't know their purpose, right? And so in light of helping people with their purpose, we're all about ascension, okay? We're all about elevating and getting up out of here and not having to repeat this class all over again.
Exactly. We tired of being in grade 1.
Okay? So if you are tired of going through this rigmarole, if you are tired of being bamboozled when you come through here and you forget all your memories and everything that you did before you got here, then we're today are going to give you a brief overview of some different paths that you can take to actual ascension.
Right. And it doesn't matter if you're religious. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what your spiritual practice is. None of that stuff matters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to take a moment to say what up to the people in his house. Thank y'all for being here. If you are new to the channel, we definitely welcome you. And we invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Okay. And so we're just gonna do a little roll call. I know YouTube has been messing with our subscribers, but it's okay. Day one's gonna be here anyhow. So if you guys can go ahead and share the video, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Empire of Neutrality, Twin Flame, Brooke and Danny, welcome.
Yes.
So if you guys can just let us know where you're chiming in from, that'll be pretty dope. So we could know, the variety that we got in the house. Les, what's up? Hello, humans. What's up, Les? D, welcome. Beautiful D in the house. Thank you guys for being here with us.
Yes.
I think you guys are going to like this topic tonight,
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty interesting topic because a lot of people, they're still a little bit confused as to why am I here on Earth? What is my purpose? What is my mission? I'm really not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, guys, at the end of the day, our sole mission is to evolve. And oftentimes we get caught up with the distractions in life. We get caught up with the polytricksters.
Mm-hmm.
We get caught up with all of these terminologies, all of these new segregation things that's happening. And we can really get caught up in it, especially if it's directly affecting us, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard not to really get off our path. But at the end of the day, guys, think about it. We come in here one way and we exit another way. And all of us come in the same way, for those of us who got souls. And all of us exit the same way. Right? So when we come here, like our ancient ancestors, they knew how to purposely enter and they knew how to purposely exit. That history, or should I say that mystery, has been taken away from a lot of us.
Right.
And thanks, because now we're entering a golden age, that information, is here again. But there's a lot of people who still confused and they don't know, and they're pretty much lost. Right? And so with 98% of our DNA being locked away that we can't access, it makes it kind of difficult for us to do supernatural things.
Yep.
So we're just here tonight to remind you that you are, you're super.
Yep.
You're superhuman by nature. You're a super person. I mean, and this is not something that's a belief structure, fortunately. You don't need to believe it for it to be so. It just is so. You're supernatural.
Yes.
Your spirit is what activates this avatar. So it's not something to debate about. That's trying to argue with the sun that goes up and comes down every day. It's just something that is. And for most of us, we are at that point in our life where we want to embrace our essence, our trueness. You know, this mundane world is nice and everything. It's cute. Going out to eat is nice. Get in a house. These things are cute. Having a good job. These are all nice things.
Going on vacation.
Going on vacation. That's cute. Okay. But let's not forget that that is not the real reason why we're here.
Right.
And we just here to remind you guys of that tonight, okay? I know we haven't really talked about the whole twin flame journey much lately, but we've done quite a few videos.
Hundreds of videos.
Hundreds of videos as far as the twin flame journey and how is my twin flame affecting me, you know, going through separation, running chaser phases. We did a lot of detailed videos. We even did videos about trauma healing, you know, how to communicate in a relationship. We did a lot of videos about those things. So if you're still on that path where you're still struggling in relationships, what you can do is you can definitely go back and look at all those videos that we did. Really good videos, good information, good advice and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
But what we're looking to do now is we're looking to go deeper. Right?
We're looking to go deeper, and just to give you kind of a visual of what we mean about going deeper. Hold on, I gotta bring this up first before I can actually do that. Not that one. Just to give a visual on what we mean about ascending, we're talking about moving up like this.
Yeah, and this is real, guys. Like, this is really real. And for those of us who don't get this, it's not an end all be all, but you'll just keep coming back here and you'll keep forgetting and doing the same thing, you know. After a while, it's like a slow retardation, you know, on a spiritual level. It retards you. Right. So you don't want to keep repeating the first grade.
No, you don't want to keep repeating. So with that being said, as far as when it comes to ascension, there are many different roads that you can take when it comes to ascension. And this video, the purpose of this is really going to be not an interview.
Hey, you let it out high itself. Who we interviewing today?
Okay, not so much an interview, but an overview of some different paths that you can take. And when we look at the different paths, there's essentially 3 paths that you can really take. And within those 3 paths, there are different sub paths and other underlying paths that you can take. But when you really look into it, the real nuts and bolts of things is really just 3 different paths that you can take.
Right.
And in each one of these paths, we're going to talk about it a little bit, give you some information, just so that way you can know what's going on, and also debunk some of these myths that are out in regards to some of these paths.
Exactly. And you know, one of the things that really intrigued us to do this video is that we recently saw this this clip. I don't know if you guys might have seen it before or heard of it before, about these monks that are in the Himalayas, right? And they activate their light body, their rainbow body. Okay. And this one monk said, "You know what, Bob, I'm out. I'm gonna see y'all, you know, Dipset, you know, whoop de woo, you know." He told him he was 80 years old, and he's like, "I think I've seen enough. I think I've done enough. I'm about to go into this Buddha pose, and I'm gonna see y'all, you know, meet me at the top."
Right.
I kid you not. I wish I could find a video. Maybe I put the link in here for you guys. And so he decided where exactly he was going to go. And so he shrunk down, literally shrunk all the way down.
From 6 feet to about 8 inches. What, 8 inches?
I think so. And then lit up like a Christmas tree. And the people was there witnessing it. Like, they saw. And homeboy Dipset, he was like, this is pretty good. And he told him that this is what he was going to do. And for a few of the monks, like, they have lots and lots of documentaries. I think they have thousands, but I don't know if they have documented 150, you know, of these individuals leaving through their rainbow body. And the people they have seen it. They have it on recordings. Like I said, we'll put it in the we'll find it and we'll put it in the chat so you guys can go ahead and take a look at it. The scientists, they came in, they did a study to see, hey, this is really defying science right now. This is word they use when they don't understand something. It defies science just because they don't understand. But anyhow, so they did all the studies, and these monks, they were actually able to regulate their body temperatures from the inside to make them warm if they're in a cold environment. We're talking about freezing cold because it's cold up in the mountains.
Yep.
And they'll go outside, no jackets, nothing, just little shoulder thing, the little red robe. And they would literally change their body's temperature so they don't freeze. And they do this. This is my opinion, and I know I'm pretty right. Like I feel like I'm 99.9% right.
Right.
I just feel like because of the way that they meditate, because of the relationship that they built with themselves and their higher selves, they were actually able to unlock portions of their DNA. The 98% that they say is junk that we don't need, right? Somehow through their meditative practices, they were able to unlock those parts of their DNA that allow them to levitate. And this is what they do. They levitate. They do a lot of things, shoot fire out of their hands. Like it's not comical.
Yeah.
It's science and it's real.
It's Dragon Ball Z in reality.
Yeah.
This is the Avatar in reality.
Right. So the point of the matter is these individuals, they know where they're going and they understand that this place is a stepping stone. It's almost like an illusion, to be honest. Doesn't mean it's not real, but it's still illusionary. Life carries on after this particular experience.
Yes.
So while you're in this experience, right, it's really good to find you a path, that you can enjoy the experience, right? And then be able to transition your consciousness effectively through and after the experience.
Right.
And this is what we're trying to do tonight, family.
All right. Boom. So we are going to give you an overview on, once again, there are many different paths, but when you really look into it, there's only really about 3. Okay? And so for this, just to make it simple, we're going to look at Wikipedia once again. And once again, whenever you're looking at Wikipedia, do not take it as the end-all be-all.
Right.
Because even with some of the things that are mentioned in here, it can be misleading. Okay, but we're going to cover through this and give you our opinion about it. You can look through and do your own analysis, come to your own inner knowing about these things. But we're gonna jump into it,
and we're gonna also give you some suggestions as books that might be able to help you out also.
All right, so let's look into it. So before we get into it, we're just gonna tell you what these 3 paths are. We should keep saying these 3 paths. What are these 3 paths? Okay. The first one is called the right-hand path, okay? And then you have the left-hand path.
You ain't even in the middle.
So you got the left-hand path, and you got the right-hand path, but then there's a middle path, okay? So we're going to go through and just give you a brief description of each one of these paths, and then we're going to give you some examples of one of the sub-layers of that path, okay? Just so you can have an understanding. One of the paths my baby was just talking about, we're going to go a little bit more into it, but let's get into it. All right, so let me just get this up to share so you all can see. And remember, reading is fundamental.
Exactly. And did we let them know that paths, are we going to let them know after where they can find these paths?
Oh yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. All right, so boom. So we're going to look into the first path. Let me zoom in here so that you all can see this a little bit better. All right. Here's my screen. All right. So boom, we're going to be looking at the right-hand path first, right? All right. You want to read that one out, baby?
Yes. So the right-hand path is commonly taught to refer to magical or religious groups which adhere to certain set of characteristics, practices, the divine concept of mind, body, and spirit, and these separate, albeit interrelated entities, right? So pretty much what they mean is church people, people who might be religious and stuff like that. They have certain practices that they stick to, certain rituals that they stick to, certain types of beliefs like, judgment, karma, things like that, right? So they really try their best to adhere to a certain way of life, by behaving a certain way, following certain type of rules, right?
Mhm.
Coming from a place of good intent,
Right. Yes.
So that's one path.
Yes. So with that right hand path, like my baby said, it's like your religion, it's Christianity. Because there are those who really practice Christianity the way it's supposed to be taught. Okay? There are some people who actually think about what would Jesus do, and they do what Jesus do. Okay?
Right. They like the intention.
Right. And then you have those of the Islamic faith who believe that they do what they're supposed to do. They get, 12 versions? Is that how many versions they're supposed to get when they go?
I don't know.
But, they believe they're going to meet all of the versions and everything, and that's their heaven. So if you chose that path, because once again, this is all inclusive. There's many paths to get up out of here. Okay? And that is one that you can choose. If that's for you, hey, that's for you.
Right.
Okay? So just giving you a kind of a broad overview, but the right hand path, one other thing to keep in mind is that you're really worshiping another entity. Okay? Whether that be Jesus, whether that be Allah, whether that be what are some of the other ones?
A Messiah, some type of Messiah,
right.
Worshiping
right
technique.
So it's that type of worship, and if you really do your studies into it, you can really find some breakthroughs. Okay, so when we talk about this, because we kind of went in, well, I went in on the church as far as them not telling the truth about a lot of things.
Right.
But once you really dig into those holy scriptures, you can actually find some truth. And if you look at those stories not as actual events, but if you look at them as actual stories and parables, poetry, then you can really get to the upper room.
Yeah, you can get out of here. But again, we'll give you guys a book by Dion Fortune that you guys can get, you can read, and it'll help to break this down even more.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because Dion Fortune is the truth. Some of y'all may know about it. 12 versions. Thank you so much.
Oh, look at you. Thank you, honey dude.
I thought I was right. Oh no, she's talking about 12 versions. Wow. But yeah,
you know what? I'm so done with honey dude. Yeah, but that's just one path, like a path where you're genuine about what you're doing.
Right.
You didn't really get tricked and bamboozled by a certain sect that was meant to trap you. You know what I'm saying? And you really use the information with good intent to really elevate your soul in a different level.
Right.
Okay.
Right. All right. So that's the right hand path, right? So now let's take a look at the left hand path.
Now this one is a little tricky.
Okay. This is the one that gets misunderstood a lot.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now, for the left hand path, y'all can see that.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this part right here, right? So yeah, so that's the left hand path. Okay. So the historian Dave Evans studied
self-professed followers
of the left hand path in the early 21st century, marking several observations about their practices. Okay. And this is somebody else's description of what the left-hand path is, but we're going to go into a little bit deeper and give y'all some more information about the left-hand path, okay? They often reject societal conventions and the status quo, which some suggest is a search for spiritual freedom. We're talking about the left-hand path. As a part of this, LPH followers embrace magical techniques that would traditionally be viewed as taboo. For instance, using sexual magic or embracing satanic imagery. As Moog Morgan wrote, the breaking of taboo makes magic more potent and can lead to reintegration and liberation. And eating the
but they get it. So with the left-hand path, it's more along the lines of an individual not looking to follow anyone per se, right? They're looking for liberation within self. They're looking to be guided by their own gnosis. They're looking for guidance from their higher self. And oftentimes you would find these type of individuals looking crazy to society. Because society, it's like there's a lot of programs within society that get you to do things a certain way. And since you're growing up, you're learning things a certain way. You get a name, you get a first name, a middle name, and a last name. Okay, somebody who's following the left-hand path might just be like, man, I don't need no first and I don't need no middle and last name because everybody just call me by my first name. Let me just use my first name. And they might just call themselves Osiris and that's it. Right? They might not want to do everything that society is doing because they're looking to really build upon themselves. Like literally, they're on a path to becoming a god. Okay, this is the left-hand path. So they're not following anyone. They're not taking suggestions from anyone. They're not looking to be in any groups or any religious sects or anything like that. They're strictly following their own inner gnosis and their own inner guidance and going straight up that path towards becoming a god. Okay, so sometimes depending on depending on the type of different type of sex within the left-hand path that they choose, to a regular person, it can look very taboo, they can look crazy, they can look satanic, they can look Luciferian, they can, all kind of names can be put in that type of individual because they're literally being guided by themselves and their higher self. So they are just completely to the left.
Right. And you have to understand, even when talking about the sex magic, Kundalini is sexual energy. And we hear a lot of people talking about how they want to waken up that Kundalini. Well, if you're going to waken up your Kundalini, you're talking about tapping into sexual alchemy. And also alchemy is also considered like another left-hand path. So when you look at this left-hand path, it gets the connotation of being bad, or this is where your satanic worshipers come in, and things of that nature. But when you look at it for what the actual principles are, it's really about discovering the power that is within you, liberating yourself, becoming a god, which you already are. Okay, you just have to remember, and then you use that knowledge to ascend and go on and explore other universes, build your own planet, whatever you want to do. You have that opportunity through that left-hand path.
Exactly. Because that's like the left-hand path is like the clip-off. So that's where, to be honest with you, with the left-hand path, that's where everything is, like the no thing. They call it nothing, right? But that is where everything is. The no thing. It's a literal fragment of creation, right? So that you can consider that left-hand path. It contains everything and all.
Yep. All right. So that's the left-hand path. Okay. Now the next path is going to be the middle path.
Right.
Okay. Now the middle path. You want to read that one, sweetheart?
Yes. So for the middle part, some people might not like divisions or definitions, or they probably might be like, I don't want to be too out there. That seems dangerous, or I really don't want to be in any religious sect per se. So what they do is they kind of stay towards the middle, right? So they might choose, like, let's say, an ascended master like Buddha, for instance, right?
Right.
And these people don't want to reinvent the wheel, pretty much. Okay, so they're not. If a wheel is already there and it's working, I'm gonna go with that. So what they'll do is they'll find somebody that inspires them, or a master teacher or an ascended master that inspires them, and they're just gonna kind of mimic what they did, pretty much, right? So the things that Buddha would have done, this person would do. They might even pay homage to Buddha, like, have a little altar and give thanks, for whatever, yada yada. They will, do the white magic or whatnot have you. They might do some candle magic and, crystals, work with different whatever. But they really don't go too far on this side, and they don't want to be too much, per se, in any type of religious sect or anything like that.
Yeah.
They really just be away from the dogmas and stuff like that, and really just kind of like stay as much in the middle path as possible towards their ascension.
Yeah. Yeah. And those who take the middle path, they're not about trickery, they're not about deception or anything of that nature. They have knowledge of self. They understand that they have a quote unquote dark side and a quote unquote light side, but they choose to stay in the middle and pull from
each side when necessary.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the three different paths. Either you can take what's called the right hand path, which is really all sunshine and rainbows. Let me stop that. Which is pretty much finding a deity or religion and really practice that religion to the fullest, worshiping that entity to help you ascend and get out of this reality.
Right. Just be very careful with that too. You want to use your inner gnosis to make sure that you're not being led in the opposite direction of where you think you're going.
Right.
So just be very mindful of that.
Right. And then the left-hand path is pretty much you tapping into your own power and figuring out how to ascend through your own will.
Right. That path is also a very powerful path.
Very powerful.
You have to know what the hell you're doing. Okay.
Right.
So for you to take the left-hand path, it's going to require you to do a lot of studying, a lot of meditation, a lot of research, and really you have to trust in yourself, because you're becoming a god. That's the path that you're initially taking, right? Is to really come back up into your godnessness. So it's going to require you to really know who you are. It's going to require you to know all aspects of self, and I'm not just talking about the goody two-shoe self. It's going to require you to become familiar with your demonic self.
Right.
Okay? Seriously, we all have a side that nobody don't want to test. So, and because that
get
side,
these hands.
Right, and because that side don't get tested a lot, you really don't know that side. So on the left-hand path, you definitely want to get to know all aspects of yourself.
Yes.
You definitely want to embrace all aspects of yourself, and you definitely don't want to have fear, because if you don't know what you're doing, just go in the middle.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it right now. If you do not know what you're doing, stay in the middle.
Right.
Okay. Because that left-hand path, like I said, it's very powerful. Okay, because you have access to the literal primordial powers.
Primordial elements.
That's everything.
Yep.
Okay. Sometimes people ask for everything, you give them everything, they don't even know what to do. No. So that's just a warning for the left and also for the right. Don't get caught up in things that with the right-hand path. You can easily get caught up in loops that can keep you trapped.
Right.
Okay. With the left-hand path, it's a lot of power, and you might not know what to do with it, and you might just mess yourself up. So both sides are awesome, but what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what path you take, you're gonna have to give it your all. You're gonna have to be determined. It's gonna require you to really study yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Might need for you to read a lot of books. This is when you're going to have to start doing research. This is
Mm-hmm.
when you're going to really have to start trusting yourself.
Right.
You're going to have to start trusting, because even when you read a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Books are nice. Like I said, these things are wonderful and they're informative, the intellectual side, but you're still going to have to use your inner gnosis,
Mm-hmm.
to really get the message that is meant for you from that particular book.
Right.
Because I can read a book, you can read a book, and we can get two different types of insights
Yes.
from the same book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, we know that the right hand path, left hand path, or going through the middle, that's a lot of information.
Yeah.
And if you're a person like me and you like to put things in boxes so that it's a little bit easier for you to digest, so that you can learn those energies on both paths as well as in the middle, then the Kabbalah would be a really good way for you to study those energies. So that because each one of those energy signatures have specific traits and they do specific things. And so we're just going to give you a brief little introduction into the Kabbalistic tree. Okay. And that's to show you how this all connects with the left hand path and the right hand path and going through the middle path. Okay. All right. Jay, we appreciate you for being with us. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for being here. You guys are awesome.
All right. So this right here is the Kabbalistic tree. So if you've never seen the Kabbalistic, you're welcome.
Yes. And again, guys, you don't need to, this is literally for everyone. It's just a way to help you to organize yourself, helps you to organize your thoughts, helps you to put things into perspective and how to get from point A to point B. And then if you need to come back again and go forward again.
Yep.
Right? That's really all that this is.
Okay. And just to show you how this connects with the tree and what we were just talking about a moment ago when we were talking about the left-hand path and the right-hand path, this image is actually coming from a book that we're going to share with you in just a moment, but we just want to show you how it really connects, okay? Oh gosh, my ears are ringing. Golly.
Right. Okay. We're doing the right thing.
Okay, here we go. So when you look at the Kabbalistic tree, it's actually broken down to 3 different pillars. Now you see these different spheres that you saw before, and coming very soon in the future, we're going to be going through and breaking down this tree for those who don't have a complete understanding of it. But just taking a look at these pillars back here, right? Which is that on the right-hand side, you have the pillar of mercy, okay? So this is where we look to our messiahs for to give us mercy, to help us along in our journey. And then the left-hand path is the severity path, okay? The left-hand path, gosh, I'm getting mixed up. Okay, bring it back, slow it down. Okay, so the left-hand path is connected with the left pillar, which is the pillar of severity, okay? This is where you get a lot of, I guess you could say, severe punishment, warring, things of that nature. Those things that you would consider a left-hand path type thing, that's what you're experiencing on that left pillar. And then the middle pillar would be considered to be equivalent to the middle path, which is this column represents mildness, okay? And with the mildness, you understand that you can pull from either the severity side or you can pull from the mercy side, okay? And so this is how this is connected with the Kabbalistic tree. And each one of these spheres represents an aspect of you, starting down from Malkuth all the way up to Kether, okay? Salon says she's definitely in the middle. That's what's up.
All right, that's what's up.
That's what's up. So with that Kabbalistic tree, each one of those spheres, each one of those circles that you saw is called the Sephirah, okay? And that Sephirah is an indication of going up to different astral planes, okay? So I'm getting thrown off a little bit. I just got lost in the spirit with that one. Excuse the dogs. They just doing what they do. Okay, they're trying their best to protect, even though the person that's coming in the house belongs here. All right. So Actually, let's do this. Let me show you all this particular book, The Unfortunate. And so we're just going to shout out this particular book so that you all can see what I'm talking about. You can look for it yourself and actually find it and show yourself.
This is such a good book, guys.
So this book right here is going to be very beneficial as far as helping you to understand both the right-hand path, the left-hand path, as well as the middle path, okay? Because if you look in this image, right behind, you can actually see, it looks like a person.
That's the clip off right there. It's a person. And then I want you to look how you see the cutout of the person, and
Right
you can
here.
see that when you look in the sky, because you know the sky, you know, that's that plasma, that's where everything comes from, that fabric, that primordial fabric. And the one that's in the back, you know, represents the left-hand path. You know, that's what most people are afraid of, the left-hand path, right? But it's just a lack of knowledge, a lack of knowingness that brings in that spirit of fear, because it only comes in when we don't understand something.
Yes.
The moment you understand something, you're not afraid of it anymore because you understand.
Right. Yes, because when we look at the tree of life, we're also looking at the tree of death. Okay. And we're just going to share that with you right here real quick so that you can see, once again, just hopefully bringing some things to the surface that you may not have been aware of, but we're bringing it to your attention because these type of things can really help you in your ascension, especially if you consider yourself, if you're considering any other path, now, if you are considering just going the right-hand path, don't worry about what I'm about to say right now, okay? If you're taking the right-hand path, everything that I'm going to say after this is going to sound crazy, woo-woo, all of that stuff, right? So just keep that in mind. But if you are looking to take either the left path or the middle path, then it would behoove you to know these things, because if you're going to take the middle route, you have to know what energies you are pulling from. Are you pulling from the right or are you pulling from the left? But if you don't have knowledge of that, then you can mess yourself up.
Big time.
Okay, so here we go. So with the tree of life and the tree of death, right? So at the top here, we have the tree of life. All right, and it is going up, and once again, this looks real familiar for a popular term. If you all know the popular term that is in the spiritual community, go ahead and drop it in the chat and tell me, what does this look like? When you look at this tree at the top and the tree at the bottom, what phrase comes to mind?
I was just about to shout it out, baby. I'm gonna let somebody else say it. Let me be the quiet student in the room.
Okay. So when you look at this image here, you have the tree of life at the top and you have the tree of life, the tree of death at the bottom. Now, as you can see here, that both, like this one at the top has the what is David Star?
Star David.
The Star David, right? And then at the bottom you got Baphomet.
I know, right?
Oh, sorry.
The one everybody afraid of.
Brother Panic put that in my head. Baphomet at the bottom. And here's a little trick or something to keep in mind when you look at this, right? When you look at this Kabbalistic tree, and let me bring up this other one, actually bring up the cover of the book, okay? All right, so when you look at this book, right, and you see this in the back, I don't know, can I zoom in at all? Okay, boom, that's a little bit bigger. All right, so when you look at this Kabbalistic tree, right, what you are seeing is that image of the person that you see behind it, that is the tree of death, okay? And the tree of death represents hidden knowledge. We're talking about the occult. That's the only, when you're talking about esoteric knowledge, we're only talking about things that are hidden, all right? And that silhouette that you see is representation of the tree of death. And the tree of death is actually what brings light to the tree of life. Okay, so out of darkness comes light. It doesn't go the other way around. So the tree of death is actually giving life to the tree of light. So I know it may seem a little bit cray, but we going into it. So going back to this image here, right? To this image here. And some of y'all didn't get it, but as above, so below.
Yep.
As within, so without.
That's right.
So this tree represents everything that's going on between you and I. Okay? Because everything that's on this tree of life, each one of these sephiroths represents an aspect of you, represents a lighter aspect of you from your lower self up to your higher self. Okay? And in the retrospect, as above, so below, the tree of death represents everything that is in you from the highest of your lows to the lowest of your lows.
Right.
Okay? So if you're looking to take the left-hand path, or if you're looking to straddle the middle, then once again, it would behoove you to know both sides of the coin.
Yeah, even if you're on the right-hand path, you need to know all aspects, because then you're kind of out of balance.
Right.
Yeah. You're not really going to understand when things are happening. You know, there is such a thing as being like naive or being kind of like ignorant, right? When you're ignoring facts, you really don't want to be. You don't want to be so out of balance on either side, even though both sides you can take, but still you really want to be aware. You just have to be in the most highest awareness, no matter what path that you're taking.
Right. Yeah, because the middle path is like the analogy we use a lot, and I'm just gonna bring it up because it's just real crystal clear. The middle path is like having a knife and understanding that you can use that knife to cut somebody a slice of cake, or you can use that knife to stab somebody in the heart.
It's the knife. It's just what you do with it.
Right. It's just knowledge. It's just knowledge. What you do with it is your free will. Okay? Because you have the will to either act on that knowledge or to not act on that knowledge. Or you have the free will to decide how to implement the knowledge. Because everybody has their own twist, their own perspective on what things look like.
That's right.
Yes. Yep. Jade, you right up on it, girl. She said, to know you, both light and dark is divine.
That is divinity. That is highest. You have to know it. You can't just shun parts of yourself, because when you really think about it, everything is a part of the no thing, right? Everything is a part of the no thing. They call it the nothing, the nothingness. The no, it's a no thing. Right? So in order for you to reach true divinity, the state, you know, in order for you to really ascend and to come to enlightenment, you have to acknowledge the no thing, which is everything is in there.
Yeah.
Right? You have to acknowledge it.
Right. And right now, once again, we're just talking about the different paths that you can take to ascend. Okay? And these are just some of the paths, right? Like, for example, let me just going back and going over the other paths, right? So if you're taking the right-hand path, and yes, I did it. This is Yahshua. Okay.
Right.
Hey, I gotta be real and show it
big up.
Show it the way it's supposed to be. So if you want to take the right-hand path and you worship Yahshua, well, excuse me, Yahshua is ascended master, so it's more of a middle path. But let's just say you go to Christianity route. That is the route that you can take in order to ascend out of this matrix and stop all of this suffering and this experimentation that's going on.
but you want to make sure you're gathering the correct information, because
Mhm.
it's very important that you do your due diligence and just make sure that you're not being looped.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not being looped. See, that's the problem with the right side.
Right.
Well, if you want to say problem, because everything has a yin and a yang, right?
Mhm.
That would be like the yin and the yang to the right hand path.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that you're really getting that inner guidance, so that you can really not fall victim to being looped, because it's very easy to be looped
Right.
when you're on the right hand side. On the left hand path, it's very easy to kind of get lost in that power,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
In the middle, I would say, is probably the safest, but you
Yeah.
still have to know both sides to effectively travel the middle.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the middle path is very similar to Buddha.
Mhm.
And yes, that is the black Buddha. I'm just
Really?
let me stop. But yes, Buddha is one who took the middle path.
Mhm.
We're talking about the ascended masters, okay? She took the middle path. She took the middle path
Mhm.
and made it through. And Buddha has her own heaven, okay?
Mm.
And if you want to go to Buddha's heaven, I'm pretty sure it'll be awesome.
That'd be nice.
Hell, you can go to Ganesha's heaven. If you're a real devout worshiper of Ganesha,
Mm.
from what I hear, her heaven is the bomb.com.
Shoot, I mean, probably gonna be happy there. Hey,
Mhm.
this is all in what your soul is telling you.
Right.
Some people's soul is telling them that this is the way, and who knows, when you get up to a certain dimension,
Mhm.
hey, you might want to grow some more, or you're good. Listen, I don't want to grow anymore. I'm
Right.
done growing. I'm tired of growing.
Right.
But
Just let me ascend and be
right, just
comfortable.
let me ascend and be comfortable. There's some people who would like to become a god.
Mhm.
And so they take that other path, that left hand path, right?
Mhm.
So it all depends on what resonates with you, what resonates with your soul. There is no right or wrong here.
Mhm.
This is not a right or wrong.
No.
It's just a matter of knowing what resonates with you and sticking to that and working towards that.
Mhm.
Like tonight, we just wanted to remind you guys that this matrix is a womb.
Yes.
And there is a matrix within a matrix. It ain't even a real matrix. Anyhow, that's a whole nother video.
Whole nother video.
But we're in a womb.
Mhm.
So when anything that's in a womb is supposed to be developing. And
Right.
we already did that video, how to escape the matrix, and knowing that not all babies make it out of the womb. Like, some babies get aborted. Some babies, if they lucky, they preemie, but you still got to do resuscitation and feed them and take extra care of them when they come out of the womb. Some babies, they develop fully, but then when they come out of the womb, they're stillborns.
Mhm.
Okay? So it's as above, so below, as within, so without. In a womb, this
Mhm.
is quite possible. So this is why when you're in the womb, which we are right now, you want to do like the pregnant mama. You want to make sure you're drinking lots of water. You want to make sure you're getting exercise. You want to make sure that nobody's stressing you out, because they're gonna put stress on the baby.
Mhm.
Okay? And so you have those 9 months in that womb. So that 9 months for us, whatever. My 9 months could be 90 years. Your 9 months could be 20 years. But you're in the womb and you're developing in that womb.
Mhm.
And so while you're in the womb, you have to be responsible for your development while you're in the womb, so that when you exit the womb, okay, you're prepared. And this is all we're trying to remind you guys of, is your divinity.
Mhm.
And don't get caught up with this matrix and thinking it's the end all be all. No, it is not the end all be all.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And one other thing, just to drive things home a little bit more, just to give you another visual, right? Let me show you all this, because just in regards to the middle path, right? One of the probably most famous middle pathers that I can think of at the moment would be Osiris. Okay? Because if you look into the story of Osiris, prior to his death, you would find out that Osiris traveled all over the world and practiced, got knowledge from a couple of different places, um, from the Himalayan mountains. Wow, forgive me right now, my mind is going blank. But he got information from all different types of ancient religions. Okay, he took that information and became one of the best alchemists out there. That's the reason why his uncle Seth didn't like him too much. That's why he ended up killing him and dismembering him and breaking his body into pieces. Now here's the thing, because Osiris went through and gathered all of the pieces of himself. And how can you gather all of the pieces of yourself? One of the ways of gathering all the pieces of yourself is finding out all the light side of you and also the dark side of you.
Right.
You bring that all together and you can use that information to ascend, just like Osiris did, and create your own place, your own heaven, your own world.
Right. And you know, let's get out of that mindset of that limiting perspective. You know, these draconians would love it. they would love it. They laugh at their dinner table, right? When humanity is so limited in their mindset, in their spirituality, you know, when they so confined in their thinking, right? No, expand, bust out of that fishbowl. Right? Bust out of the fishbowl. For a second, bust out of the fishbowl and let me know how you feel. Bust out of all of that type of enclosed way of thinking and limitation. Think about aliens. Tell yourself aliens are real.
Tell yourself fairies are real.
Tell yourself fairies are real.
Dragons
are real. Tell yourself vampires are real. Tell yourself goopy googly is real. All these things are real. Ghost is real. Tell yourself these things are real. Okay? Go outside of that box limitation way of thinking. It's just an experiment. If you guys if you already know this, then we preach it to the choir. But if you feel like, Christian Nation is crazy, they don't went off the rockers now. You know, try it. Try it for about a couple days. Really, get you some different books. Read some different books. You know, open the imagination. Gaze at a flame, a candle flame.
Yes.
You know, some of you looking for your twin flames. Okay, get you a candle flame till they come back. And then gaze at that candle flame for about 5 minutes a day.
Just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. If you want to be about it, 10 minutes a day. But all you need is 5 minutes a day. Try to do it right before you go to sleep. Right before you go to sleep, get you a candle. Let me see our beautiful candle.
Yeah, where's the light?
Right here.
We're gonna show y'all.
Wake some of y'all up tonight. Wake up. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up. I'm about to wake y'all up tonight.
Okay. So you can just, oh wow, they can't see that.
See, if your twin flame ain't around, get you another flame. This is gonna help you way more.
Wow, they can't. It's so bright you can't even see it.
Wow, you can't even see it.
This is our special candle. Hold on.
What's that? Wow. Oh, there you go. Now you can see it. Okay.
So boom.
Boom.
You can just look into that flame.
Gaze at it.
It's not even gonna get in focus.
Look at that.
But yeah.
Gaze at that for 5 minutes. If you can do 10, good for you. 5 is enough. So right before you go to sleep, light your flame and you just stare at it. You gaze at it. You scry at the candle.
Yeah. You don't have to do much.
That's it.
Because there's something that is already downloaded into you, right? And that flame has a code to make that program run. Okay? I'm just telling you, if you just sit and stare at a flame, fire or whatever, if you got some candles, if you can't do a bonfire, then get yourself a candle, okay? And just stare at it every day for 5 minutes. Because right now I get up every morning and I've gotten up to 10 minutes that I'm actually just focus in on that flame,
Mm-hmm.
and it unlocks things.
It does something. Let me tell you. My baby got the kids gazing at the flames too. This morning, because I'm noticing that the kids remember the dreams more. And so today, Sarah told me, she was like, "Mom, I had a dream last night." So, we know how she's real, she's a lot, right? She's the number one, right? So she's like, "I had a dream." I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go. What did you dream about?" She's like, "No, for real, I had a dream." She's like, "I dreamt about that we were in Atlantis." And I'm like, "What you know about Atlantis?" She's like, "Is that a place?" I'm like, "Yes, it's a place. What you know about it?" She's like, "I don't know. It was in my dream." And so I'm like, "Well, what's this dream about?" She's like, "We were in plasma." And so I'm like, "We were in plasma? What you talking about?"
Both had us all like, "Huh, what?"
Like,
the house was made of
she
plasma.
said she said we were living like in plasma. And so I'm like, plasma? I'm thinking she about to say blood or something. I'm like, what type of dream is that? And so Maggie was like, "Well, what is plasma?" And she tried to skip over it. So I'm like, "No, tell her what plasma is," because I really want to know what plasma is. So she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Well, Manny, plasma is like the sun, like stuff like that, like plasma, like, in the Milky Way, that type of plasma." She's like, "Yeah, that's what plasma is.
It's where the stars sit.
Where the stars are and stuff like that." And I was like, "Holy crap, I ain't never tell us there was no plasma."
We never told her about plasma.
We never tell her about no plasma. So I was like, "All right now, roll on, big dog. What else you dreamt about?" So she's like, "Well, we were in Atlantis and we were living in the plasma, the sky." She said we were walking on like walking in space, like the blackness. She said we were walking on it. It was stars, and she said that we had like a house, and she said I was a queen and she was a princess, and she said I was bright. She said I was much brighter. And she said Manny was like a wolf, part type of human or whatever. And she was just going like in explaining the dream, and I'm like, "Oh, there's some type of imagination here." But how do you know about plasma? Most kids, she's 10. I never told her what plasma was.
And when she described it, I was like, "Oh boy, she getting some down lows."
Right. 10-year-old talking about plasma after gazing at the candle. Y'all go gaze at the candle. Y'all worried about the wrong flame.
You worried about the wrong flame.
I'm just playing.
Gosh.
I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just messing with y'all. But for real, go and gaze. Sun gaze is another thing that you can do. Sun gaze is very awesome. And also, if you're not able to sun gaze, just do the candle gazing 5 minutes every night before you go to sleep, and your dreams would start revealing things to you. Okay, if you can put some meditation in there, go and do it.
Yeah, because here's a trick that I do when I stare into the flame. Because after a while of staring at the flame long enough, it literally burns the image in your mind, right? And so after looking at that flame for even 5 minutes, you start to, when you close your eyes, you still see that flame. You still see that silhouette of that flame.
You do.
And what you can do is, this is just what I got intuitively, right? Which is that when I close my eyes and I see that flame is me. Okay?
I wish I could burn something.
And so what I do is that I focus on that flame and I look to connect with that flame, and I look to go within that flame to connect and build a relationship. Okay? And then once I'm able to get in and make that connection, then I tie it all in and put gratitude on it. I think about the things that I'm happy about, the things that I'm grateful for. And I think about that and I sit into it and I let that get into my subconscious and let my subconscious know I want more things to be grateful for.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Somebody said I can, Avila said I can stare into the sun without it hurting my eyes. And she said, I think it's a myth that is bad for you. Listen, sweetie, you came to the right place. We're going to encourage you right now. Somebody encourage Avila. Go ahead and gaze into that sun, baby girl. Because let me tell you, a lot of the things that you'll notice and you start noticing it even more, a lot of the things that they're telling us that is bad for us, it's because it's like, again, we're in the upside down, guys. This is literally, we're in the upside down.
Right.
Our eyes, our pupils, they help us out, man. They literally have to flip the world for us so that we can see it the way that, the straight side up. But initially, when we see something, it's upside down. So we're in the upside down.
Right.
So when they're telling you that the sun is bad for you, don't, like, come on, go
Look at that sun.
look at the sun.
Now, I will give this disclaimer, which is that if you haven't been sun gazing, okay, you need to
practice
staring at the sun in the waking hours, like between 7 to about 8 o'clock. Okay. And then looking at it when it's dawning, right around between 5 and 6. Okay.
Right before it comes up or right before it goes down, to give yourself practice to build up that tolerance. This is true. This is true.
So once you build up that tolerance, you can actually get to the point that when the sun, why am I thinking about the moon? The moon just came about, but you can also do that same thing with the moon, especially when it's full. But if you built up your tolerance enough, and you'll know because you'll be able to look at the sun when it's at high noon and be able to look at it dead smack in the center.
Exactly, because think about it, right? How come our plants, can grow from getting sunshine? Right? How come our plants can grow from getting water? How come our plants can grow when it's in soil? Okay? There is some type of information that is contained within those elements that instructs the plant to do these things. So obviously, water is alive. Water is living. Water has instructions and information inside of it also.
Right.
Just like the sun has instructions and information. The food that we eat, this planet is alive. The plants that we eat, they have instructions and information inside of it when we take it in. This is why when some people do shrooms, right? They take in instructions and information, and they see things that, they help them to see things that their naked eye can't help them out with. Right? They all contain facets of information. So the sun contains a lot of information. That's why I want you to look at it. Don't want you to know that type of stuff.
Right.
Okay? But we have to awaken. We have to awaken so that we can start trusting ourselves. This place has taught us to not to trust ourselves. Like, they have religions out here that literally tell you not to trust yourself. Okay, it's like it's a program that's been beat into our subconscious, but we have to stop that. We have to start trusting ourselves.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, and trusting ourselves and picking our own paths.
Picking our own paths.
Okay? Because at this point, we are creating right now. We are creating right now.
Facts.
And what creates? A God creates. Okay? We're creating this video right now.
Think about it.
We are gods. For our women and for men, if you have a children, you created a child.
Come on now.
Okay? If you have a business that nobody else ever thought of and you created it and you brought it into this reality, you are a god. Okay? When you create art, when you create music that has never existed on this plane before, what does that make you?
You're a creator. Okay? All right now. So let me just wrap this whole thing up for everybody. Then we're going to go to the comments, okay?
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Bible. I like to reference the Bible because even though it's twisted in some ways, it does still have a lot of validity to it. It does still have a lot of truth to it. Okay? Never mind, they stole truths. It's still truths in there, lots of it.
Right.
In the Bible, right? Remember, let's go back down memory lane. I think this is in Genesis. And by the way, we already know what Genesis is, genes. Okay, Genesis, DNA, genes. Okay, the beginning, Genesis, gene and Isis. Let's go. So in the beginning, right, when they said, when God got mad, this guy always he's
so mad. Y'all, I was in his feelings.
He get mad over the smallest things. But anyhow, they have different gods in the Bible. Okay, but for this particular one, the one that be getting mad all the time, when he was like upset because after they ate from the tree of life that we just showed you, which is the tree of life, the tree of good and evil, okay? After men ate from the tree of life, they now know what is good and what is evil, and now man has become like one of us. Hold on, I gotta pull it back. Right?
Because you just said something here and my ears are ringing again.
Okay? So now that y'all know about the tree of life, if you probably already know it before, right? Now that you know about the tree of life, the tree of good and evil, right? Which is everything. Okay? Now you are one like one of them, which is a God. And even in the Bible, it goes further to say, ye are gods. So we got references. Okay, we came with our receipts tonight.
Yeah, we came with receipts.
Okay.
Okay.
So knowing this pathway, this path work, it helps you with your ascension. So you're not kind of stuck, and your soul is not kind of retarded by keep repeating. Because after a while, you keep going back and forth like that. It's no development in that constant back and forth, right?
No. But
so we here to free the people tonight.
So I'm just gonna pull this up one more time just to show it to the people. So once again, we were talking about Genesis,
Gene and Isis.
Okay, we were talking about Genesis, and what happened was that Adam and Eve ate from the tree of life. Okay. But when they ate from the tree of life, I'm just making sure I got all my ducks in a row here. They knew good and evil.
They knew it
from eating from the tree of life.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so either God did a terrible job at naming the tree, or they didn't tell the full story. Because once again,
you know what book it is.
Okay. Once again, just going back into this image right here, okay? This image is a representation of the tree of life. So in order for, once again, we're talking about an allegorical story, which is that he ate the apple, and so now he knew of good and evil. So that means that he knew about the good, and he knew about the bad. And that made him a god. Because he is now like us. So,
and who is us? Who is us, right? If they only have one so-called, okay, who is the us? Nobody could never answer that question. That's what puzzles me.
So, Adam and Eve took a bite of that apple, and now they know both sides of the coin.
Right, exactly. Now, let's come out of the nursery rhymes for a second. Okay? The whole apple is a little bit nursery rhymish.
Yes.
When we talk about eating from the tree of life, right? Right now, you guys are consuming, right? You're eating.
Yep.
Audibly by listening to us. So you're taking in information. We take in information again through our portals. This is why I say you got to be very mindful of your portals. What we listen to, this is a big portal. And I'll tell you, your mouth, another portal. You take in formation. Remember, information. You're forming yourself from the inside. Information. This is why we eat food, because we are forming ourselves from the inside, depending on the type of information that the food is given to our cells. It's all information.
Right.
Our eyes, we're looking, we're taking in information, another portal. So anything that you take in through your portal, it's food.
You're consuming.
You're consuming. It's a consumption. It's food. It's energy. Okay? So when they say they eat from the tree of life, right? It could be that somebody came and told them something, and now
whisper something in their ear.
Whisper something in their ear, and so now they have new information. The formation came in and it formed them differently,
right?
As far as being more insightful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so food is not just about shoving stuff in our mouth. Like yesterday, my baby cooked some delicious veggie tacos, right? And he was like, "Baby, you're not coming to eat?" And I'm like, "Dad, man, I know that tacos is delicious, but right now I'm hungry for knowledge."
Mm-hmm.
It was a different type of hunger. I was hungry, but not for the physical food. I was hungry for the knowledge. And so I sat here and I was in a lecture getting that knowledge. Mm-hmm. So family, sometimes we have to learn how to turn on that inner gnosis, mm-hmm. so that when we perceive things, we can turn it over with the first eye, which is why we have these two cards for y'all family today. Mm-hmm. So you see, family, this is the collective card, guys. This is a collective card reading. So we have our perception, which governs our reality and also creates it, right? Mm-hmm. The perception card. Perception. So perception is very important. How are you perceiving your world around you? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what's important. However you perceive your world around you, that is your reality. Okay, and this is what you're going to experience.
Yep.
Okay, and then the next one is the balancing of the energies, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That's the 11. You know how we feel about 11? Mm-hmm. 11, 11. Okay.
Yep.
So just really a reminder for us to really think about how are we perceiving this reality. Mm-hmm. We can only see 2% of this reality, guys.
2.
With these eyes, we only 2%. Everything else is unseen. Mm-hmm. Right? So we really want to get familiar with the unseen, because that's what's important.
Yes.
That's what's super important. We want to get familiar with the unseen. Yeah. We want to get familiar with the 98% of our DNA that's tucked away.
Yeah. So forget about that slogan of "I'm from the show me state." Look, I'm looking for stuff I ain't seen before. Okay? Tell me about some things that I can't see with these naked eyes. Help me to understand.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're trying to feel you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's it, family. That's it for tonight. Let me see what kind of questions we got in the chat. Yeah. Somebody said, yes, which is why firmament or dome concept is.
Let's see. Here, I'll put it up here for you.
Yes, which is why a firmament or dome concept is logical, but that's another story. Oh yeah, that's a whole other story. You know what I realized, Jay-Z, with this whole dome and earth business? This is how I feel about this flat earth, round earth thing about globe, whatever, right? I have gotten to the point now where I don't even care. I don't care if it's square. I don't care if it's round.
If it's a tetrahedron.
I don't care if it's a tetrahedron.
It can look like this.
It can look like that for all I'm concerned. You know what I'm trying to do?
Get out of it.
Get the hell up on out of here. I don't care what it looked like at this point. My goal here is to enjoy this place as much as I can, get as much from here as much as I can, what I came for. Share as much information as possible, spread as much love as possible, insight. If I can help someone while I'm here, that's what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, my mission is to ascend.
Yes.
And show others how to ascend. Share my experience or share our experience, and hopefully that can help somebody else.
Yes.
While we here chilling in this round, square, tetrahedron globe, whatever.
Right.
The important thing is getting out of here.
Yes. The thing is to get out of here.
Right. That's the whole goal.
Yes. And thank you so much, Jay, for your love and support. Thank you
Yes.
so much for sending that energy. And
Yes.
thank you to everybody
Thank
who
y'all,
has
man.
been watching this evening. Thank you for all of the thumbs up.
Thank you,
We
guys.
appreciate y'all so much. That way, that's your way of telling YouTube that Twin Flames Unite is the shit, and we want more of it.
Yeah, because you know they're messing with us again. So y'all go ahead and share our video. Go ahead and give us that thumbs up. If everybody could share the video that's on the live, that would be awesome. And everybody could give us a thumbs up, that would be great. If you guys want to donate to the channel, we got our Cash App right up there. You can send a small donation. It's $1, 50 cents, $2, $100, whatever it is. We are grateful for any donation that you send. And thank you for those of you who do donate to our channel. It does help to keep the lights on, and it does help to keep the wheels turning while we're in this matrix. So we definitely, we definitely appreciate that from you guys, and thank you for tuning in. Again, don't forget to hit up the website, become a Royal Twin Flame, guys.
Yes, and do not forget that because we had quite a few people sign up already, but we are running a special on our card readings, which normally is about 30 minutes. We actually added an additional 15 minutes to the reading, and then we discounted it so that you all can really get some answers, because our whole intention whenever we do a card reading is to help provide you with some information to give you a little bit of direction into which way you need to go. And whichever way that direction resonates with you, then we're going to come through and provide you with some resources to make sure that you can accomplish your goals. So head over to the website today. You don't need any coupon codes or anything of that nature. Just go and book the reading with it's one of the card readings. You'll see pictures of like pictures of like this book on there, or these this deck on there, and you just go to the website and you book your session today, because that special is only going to be running until this Saturday, which is 9/11.
That's right. That's right.
So go ahead and book your session today. It's 45 minutes full card reading. If we're done with the card reading prior to that 45 minutes, we can go in and talk about some other stuff.
Yep. But usually the card readings are pretty intense.
Yeah.
There's something else I wanted to tell you guys, but it's kind of slipping my mind right now. Maybe I'm not supposed to say it. That's how my high self is keeping me in check. Yeah, that's it. Listen, guys. This is what inspired. I want you to know what inspired this this particular video. We'll probably do a twin flame video maybe tomorrow for those who are still, struggling with the relationship phase type of thing, Bob, right? But just being honest with the whole relationship thingamajiggy. Relationships help us with life lessons. Life lessons ultimately help us to ascend. Some people learn their life lessons through relationships. So if you're a person and you find that you have a lot of difficulty in relationships, as far as like communication through relationships, that might be one of the reasons why you're here, like on a soul level, to work on that particular aspect. Anything that you find that you struggle with in this particular life, you have to focus on it, because more than likely it's linked to your soul's development. So let's say maybe you struggle with forgiveness, right? Or you struggle, you don't have a lot of patience, or you might not probably like being around a lot of people. You hate people,
It's true.
Anything that you find that you struggle with really hard, I mean, like it's really tough for you, right? It's something that you need to overcome, okay? And that in turn will help with your ascension. So if your thing is relationships, if you find it really hard and relationships is a struggle for you, something that you might need to focus on, and more than likely, it's scaring you to turn inward because of the electromagnetic field that we hold outside of our body. Okay, it literally attracts things to us to kind of show us what we need to work on.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly attracting a certain type of energy or a certain type of relationship, it's like your soul's way of showing you what still needs to be worked on.
Yes.
So this might not be the time to kind of like be in the blame game energy, because the blame game energy only holds you back.
Right.
Okay, I see I lost a few people after that one.
We're just being real.
Just being real. Just keeping it real. See, quite a few people dipped out after that one, but hey, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah.
So sorry. I know sometimes the truth it hurts, but it's true.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do a twin flame video tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys, but it's the truth. I have to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, just one other thing, just one last thing to touch on the last part that you said, which was that if you're in the twin flame dynamic and it's not a harmonious, either if it's a harmonious one or if it's inharmonious or not harmonious, it is just showing you parts of aspect that you need to work on.
Right.
Now, once again, this is just a fatal mistake that can be made, especially when it comes to the twin flame dynamic, is that we would run to bring back in that thing that we need to work on and just figure out whatever I got to do to make this work and stay in this toxic situation. I'm gonna do that versus seeing that, oh, my twin is showing me that I'm insecure.
Right.
Or they're showing me that I don't have patience. Or they're showing me that I lack compassion. Because if it's your twin, that's you. They're showing you. So if they're not compassionate, you're not compassionate.
Right. Like, yeah.
If they're not understanding, you're not understanding. Okay? So that twin comes to show you things that you need to work on so that you can ascend.
Right. And again, it goes back to the electromagnetic field outside of our body. It's a real thing. We all have an electromagnetic field around our body. This is why when a person has a heart attack, if a person's heart is stopped, what do? They shock them.
Right.
Electricity will bring you back. The only reason why they will use electricity is because we all know water is a conduct of electricity. Okay? So there is an electromagnetic field around your body. You're just not able to, well, some people can see it depending on, what's turned on the inside. But for the most part, people, they're not really able to see it. Okay?
Yeah. And so once again, we're talking about dealing with things that are unseen, because this is just a visual representation of what your magnetic field looks like.
There you go.
Okay.
Exactly.
And this magnetic field attracts what it's like. So if that magnetic field is full of negative energy, it's going to attract negative energy.
Yeah.
If that Taurus field is filled with high vibration positivity, it's going to attract high vibration, more positivity. If it's filled with love, it's going to attract love. If it's filled with lust, it's going to attract lust. So just letting you know, that's how that works.
Exactly. And these are things that you could be conscious of, or these are things that you might not be conscious of. But guess what? It don't matter.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter. Ignorance is no excuse to the law. As above, so below. As within, so without.
Yes. Right. Yep. All right. So we're not going to hold y'all too much longer. We just wanted to bring you all with that quick breakdown, because for the videos that are to come, we are going to be diving deeper, especially into the tree of life, helping you to understand how each one of those spheres represents you. They represent different energy signatures.
Yes.
And at any point in time in our life, we can display those energy signatures.
Right. We're gonna get into energy signatures. We're gonna start really explaining this matrix, man.
Yes.
We're gonna get into the days of the week, the different gods that they're named after, the months of the year, the different gods they're named after. We're gonna really start touching on energy signatures, so that you guys can start really understanding how this world operates. We're gonna start going in more into these hollow days and these deep days, right? To really get you to take your power back.
Yes.
Take your power back so that people or entities are not utilizing your energies to serve their greater agenda. And you can actually pull your energy back to serve your own highest and greatest good towards your own ascension.
Yep.
Because believe it or not, your energies are being used.
Yes. So you might as well take your own energy and use it for your own benefit. All right. All right, y'all. So we love y'all so much. We will see you all tomorrow. Definitely make sure you turn on your notifications so that way you don't miss anything.
That's right.
All right, because it will be scheduled more likely. It's going to be scheduled. So make sure you probably not. So make sure you are here. You are in the building. Thank you for all of those tuning in from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope.
Yes. Thank you, Jay-Z. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate you for being here. You guys, Goddess 999, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. D, I know Big D was in the house. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love you guys so much.
All right. So we love y'all.
We love you guys. Peace.
Peace out.